are threatened by African unity, because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. We, as progressive Pan-Africanists, must fully associate with and support all revolutionary actions of fighters who are removing puppets of French imperialism from political office and power. We must teach our people that we are not beggars. When we ask for reparation, we are not asking for donation. We are asking for...
Guys, you need to watch this amazing video of Julius Malama of South Africa. He addressed, Emmanuel Macron of France, United States of America. He said to them, Africa don't need you guys to survive. They should let Africa breathe. As he throw weight behind Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Guys, please, before you watch this amazing video, kindly do me a favor, give it a thumbs up and endeavor to share this video.
They are threatened by African unity, because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. We, as progressive Pan-Africanists, must fully associate with and support all revolutionary actions of fighters who are removing puppets of French imperialism from political office and power. We must teach our people that we are not beggars. When we ask for reparation, we are not asking for donation. We are asking for what was stolen from us to be returned, so that we can prosper. All these actions are revolutionary, because we must be careful of French-sponsored coups in Africa, where we think there is a revolution taking place in Guinea-Conakry, only to find that there is a French puppet who seek to replace those who were there before. There is nothing revolutionary about the Guinea-Conakry coup. We ought to separate that there can never be a revolutionary coup that reinforces French imperialism on African soil. Anyone who comes into political office under the pretense that they are fighting a French puppet, while knowing they are the French puppet themselves, must be isolated by progressive Pan-Africanists. All French soldiers and military must leave the African continent, and this also should apply to neo-colonial military bases, including the African Command Center of the USA. We don't want the army of America. We don't want the army of France here. We don't want the army of anyone. We want African army on African soil. The Pan-Africanist Institute should therefore provide ideological, political, and technical weapons to all progressive forces of the African continent to fight against colonialism.
The EFF leader then said Africa needs one standing army to fight the wars sponsored by countries seeking to distract us with fighting so they can plunder our resources, before touching on greedy African dictators and the need to unite the continent against neocolonialism and exploitation.
We need African Central Bank. We need African Monetary Zone. We need African military combat, because these pockets of wars that are happening in Africa are not of our own making. They are sponsored wars, so that those who continue to steal our resources can do so uninterrupted as we fight amongst ourselves. So we need a military, a common defense system, the African High Command, that will ensure the stability and security of Africa. We equally need a binding African court to deal with dictators who only exist in Africa to feed their friends and families. Those people must be prosecuted the African way. Traore and Emperor Haile Selassie prophetically said that the failure to unite the African continent will give rise to the neo-colonialism and that African continent will perish. The revolutionary Pan-Africanist ideological and political diagnosis of the future was correct. The future is here. 50 years later, we know that we remain visitors in our own continent. We know that our resources benefit Euro-American than our own people. This is despite most African countries gaining independence from colonial rule since 1957. Massive, huge tracts of land, our mineral resources, our animals, our oceans are still owned and controlled by the colonial masters. There are no countries in the entire African continent that have gained full economic emancipation and independence. And this includes Ghana, which was the first to lead the road. Till to date, it can't claim that Africans in Ghana own the means of production. In 2016 report titled The New Colonialism reveals that there are 101 British companies listed on the London Stock Exchange that control. We are an organization that wants to unify the whole of Africa, have one currency, have one parliament, have one president, and have one military command. Because the reason we are fragmented like this and were defeated is because the enemy enjoys and thrives when we're divided. We are not a regional organization. We are an international organization. When we go everywhere in the continent, the people come out in their numbers to come and receive the message of the EFF because we're an international organization. That's why when we sing Nkosi Sikelele Africa, there where we say Morena Boloka, you say South Africa, and we insist yes, now we insist Africa. There's no South Africa in Nkosi Sikelele that we sing. There's Africa. Because there is no place called South Africa. South Africa is a geographical concept which seeks to give you direction. It's not a name of a place. We are in Africa. So once you say Africa, you don't have to add anything before. You have covered everything, including this side of the south of Africa. Because we're an international organization. That's why the logo of the EFF has got no South African map. It has got African map. Because we're an organization that wants to unify the whole of Africa, have one currency, have one parliament, have one president, and have one military command. Because the reason we're fragmented like this and we're defeated is because the enemy enjoys and thrives when we're divided. They say to you, he says, remove borders. Why is he saying remove borders? He wants these people to come here. He wants these people to come here. There are no borders in Europe. The people who said to you, why do you want to remove borders? They don't have borders themselves. And we have not seen, because of borderless Europe, we have not seen the people of Italy moving to Britain. Because the pound is stronger, let's go to Britain than the euro. No. They've always stayed where they are. But they can eat breakfast in Italy and have lunch in Britain and have dinner in Spain without any hassle. Why? They are one people. They are enjoying each other. They embrace one another. But we must not do that. Once we do that, Malema says people must come here. They are going to take your jobs and all of that. Why are you allowing that? This Malema must be stopped. It's not true. In Lesotho, there is no fence between Free State and Lesotho. The people of Lesotho, what is the day today? Sunday. They are in Free State now as we speak. Around 5, 6, Wazopinda. Go back to Lesotho. There's no problem. They are together. They are one thing. So why didn't they move from Lesotho into Free State before even Malema existed and the EFF existed? Because there's never been a fence. There's no fence. Mashaba showed you. He went to Limpopo and said, yeah, look, there's no fence here between Zimbabwe and Limpopo. But when you go into Zimbabwe, there are still people there in Zimbabwe. They are staying there. Yet Mashaba confirmed there is no fence. And without fence, these people are going to come here. Malema says they must come here. There is no fence. Why are they not coming now? There is no fence. I said to you, mark that, we are led by fools. Because there is no fence, but there is a gate. We are led by fools. There is no fence, but there is a gate. When you go home today, you arrive at your home from this meeting, you just find the fence is gone. Only the gate is standing alone like this. And then, what do? Without fence, you still open the gate to. Hey, we're in a state of madness. Why, if these borders mean nothing, why are they opposed to them? They are threatened by African unity. Because the unity of African people will mean they are equal to China, they are equal to India, they are equal to Russia, they are equal to Britain. How can Swaziland tell Britain anything with that size of a population? They won't listen to them. But once we come together, we are billions of people who can confront the status quo globally. So,
I quote, Donald Trump is the enemy, end quote. He said this while defending Ibrahim Traore and calling for people to stand with Burkina Faso. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
America must never tell us what to do. The same United States, which is furious at being cut off from the riches of Burkina Faso, cannot tell us what to do. We stand with Captain Traore.
Trump is the enemy, end quote. He said this while defending Ibrahim Traore and calling for people to stand with Burkina Faso. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
America must never tell us what to do. The same United States, which is furious at being cut off from the riches of Burkina Faso, cannot tell us what to do. We stand with Captain Traore. We stand with Traore because we know that Traore stands for the unity of Africa. We are Traore, and Traore is all of us. If they kill Traore, you must know they would have created another wound in the continent of Africa. We must defend him the same way we defend the unity of Africa. We must defend China for defying the USA and telling the USA to go to hell because they don't understand how the tariffs works. Donald Trump is an enemy of himself and all of us.
Julius Malama made it very clear that we need to stand with Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore. He made it clear that he is not the enemy. Traore is not the enemy. The actual enemy is Donald Trump. And this is according to Julius Malama. Of course, he's getting pushback from those that want us to stay quiet and that want us to always be appreciative and applaud what they're doing, even though what they're doing is wrong. Some people, even though they know the truth, they don't want to admit it. They don't want to put themselves on the line. But Julius Malema has always been the person that speaks his mind, that speaks what he believes to be true, and he's not going to stay silent, even though it might cost him. And this is another example. Just recently, he was calling out Elon Musk and Trump for what they were trying to insinuate. Not actually insinuate, they were saying it out loud, that white South Africans in South Africa are being mistreated and they need help. I think US already started interviewing white South Africans to go to America. I believe they're giving them asylum, which fine if that's what they want to do. And that's what Julius Malema said. He said if they want to take the racist to US, then
Malema's subsequent praise for leaders like Traore has fast forward to 2023, and Malema's tone shifted dramatically. The EFF publicly celebrated the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, by Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, a treaty that signaled a break from Western influence. Malema praised Traore, Mali's Colonel Assimi Goïta, and Niger's General Abdourahmane Chiani for rejecting neo-colonial exploitation and charting a path toward African sovereignty. An EFF statement issued in June 2023 hailed the alliance as a revolutionary act. The signing of the Confederation Treaty is a clear message to the imperialists. These nations will not be controlled. They are forging new political alliances that prioritize development and autonomy for their people. The party highlighted the leaders' bold decisions to expel French troops, close foreign military bases, and reclaim control of natural resources. The EFF framed these actions as vital steps in dismantling exploitative structures imposed by former colonial powers. These nations are setting a precedent for the rest of Africa, demonstrating that political and economic liberation is achievable in our lifetime with steadfast resolve and collective action. This endorsement marked a stark departure from Malema's earlier criticism of military takeovers, leaving observers puzzled about his true ideological stance. You see, the rise of Traore, Goïta and Chiani has reshaped African geopolitics. Each leader has defied Western powers, opting for policies that prioritize national sovereignty over foreign partnerships. 1. Traore, who came to power in Burkina Faso in September 2022, has been vocal about breaking free from neo-colonial exploitation. His administration expelled French troops and rejected foreign control over the nation's resources. Traore's leadership has inspired a wave of Pan-African solidarity, but Malema's latest accusations threaten to undermine this perception. 2. Colonel Assimi Goïta. In Mali, Goïta has pursued similar policies, expelling foreign forces and seeking alliances that prioritize African interests. His government has positioned Mali as a leading voice against neo-colonialism. 3. General Abdourahmane Chiani. Niger's leader, Chiani, joined the AES Confederation in 2023, signaling a commitment to collective African resistance. His administration has faced criticism for its military origins, but continues to advocate for economic independence. EFF's anti-imperialist rhetoric has consistently emphasized the historical exploitation of Africa by colonial powers. The party accuses Western nations of fueling conflicts to secure resource extraction, leaving African nations impoverished. Westerners consider that we belong to them, and our wealth also belongs to them. This era is gone forever, Traore famously declared, a sentiment echoed by Malema's party. However, Malema's recent comments complicate this narrative. His allegations against Traore risk alienating allies in the Pan-African movement and undermining efforts to build a united front against neo-colonialism. The EFF has consistently called on African youth to lead the charge against imperialism. In a recent statement, the party urged young Africans to elect leaders committed to Pan-Africanism and protect them from Western interference. Together, we will challenge the remnants of colonial exploitation and build an integrated Africa where mineral wealth serves the economic freedom of the African child. This call to action underscores the party's vision of a self-reliant, united Africa. Julius Malema remains an enigmatic figure in African politics. his shifting stance
so consistently that if you must answer His Excellency,